you doing, everyone? Welcome back to Horror's Ball Film Review Edition. It's been a while since I've done this. And as you can see, I have a special guest here for this edition of Film Review. We've never actually done a film review together.
No.
Ever, right? You've appeared on...
I've done one myself.
Yes, this is our first time collaborating on a review. So as you can see in the title, we are going to review a brand new horror film, The Conjuring. This is not a remake, right? It's not a remake,
no.
So that's cool. Let's give a quick little summary of the plot. Many of you probably already know what it's about. But I got to say, too, right off the bat, this is going to have a lot of spoilers in it. A lot of spoilers.
It's going to be like spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler...
Bomb.
So if you haven't seen the film yet and you don't want to get spoiled.
A spoiler explosion.
Spoiled by a spoiler explosion. So I'm telling you right now, it's going to be spoilers. So, synopsis, the couple... Was it Roger? Roger and Carolyn are a couple who move into this new house, kind of in the country, with their 5 daughters, and basically they have to deal with this house that, right off the bat, they start to deal with some situations of it feeling like it's haunted, and so they end up calling the Warren family, which is a couple. They're actually ghost hunters, ghost investigators, which they've been doing for their whole life. They also have a young daughter. So the Warrens go and help the family, Perron family? Perron family?
I don't know how to say it.
Go help them with the issue with dealing with this haunted house and what's going on with the house. That's basically the plot right there. And really, I've talked about, what we're going to do is actually just say things we both liked about the film, and then things that bothered us about the film, and then ultimately what we feel as far as whether or not we recommend it or not. I got to say though, obviously it's a fright film, so I've heard a lot of people talk what scares them about this movie. But for me, number one, that I haven't heard really anyone mention, is how the Perrons have 5 daughters. And so Roger, he has to deal with 6 women in his household. That, to me, is the scariest thing about this.
Dad.
Alright, I'm sorry, buddy. Sometimes you have such a great fear. The thought to me of living in a house with 6 women, that's like 6 PMSs. That's so scary. Anyway, I'm sorry, I apologize. Very unprofessional of me. So, let's go right into it, what we liked about the film. You want to start off by saying something that you really liked about it?
I like that there was a lot of jump scares, because they worked.
There was a lot of jump scares.
Yeah.
Which worked good in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think if you're going to see this, definitely see it in the theater. Yeah, I thought it was a generally creepy movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved it was shot very well. You know, the cinematography was really good. Even just like this film was actually set in the 70s in the film, and
60s.
I think it's the 70s.
I think no.
They might have referenced something, but I'm pretty sure it was in the early 70s. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, the cool thing is not only was it set in the 70s, but it really did have that 70s horror film vibe to it. And you haven't really seen many 70s horror films, but you will. But it just had that cool vibe. Definitely an homage to 70s horror films. I think we gotta say this is directed by James Wan. We didn't say that earlier. He definitely, clearly, is a fan of old school horror. It's evident with Insidious, and especially this one, the fact that it took place in the 70s. It just has a great classic 70s horror film vibe. The way it's shot, some of the
way
angles.
They dressed.
Of course, oh yeah, they dressed properly with all the nice sweaters. But it was a great scene. I remember early on where the house was really cool, right? It was very big, and a lot of stairs and hallways and stuff. And it's an old house, of course. And there's a scene very early on. It might have been like the first night they dealt with like the hauntings or whatever. And there's a great scene where it's a shot of the house from like outside the front yard, and it quickly like pans back, and then you hear like a nice violin swell going over.
Yeah.
Just kind of showing everyone, all right, it all starts now. So I thought it was really cool, really retro. So there's a lot of cool things like that. The score was really good, right? Kind of like Insidious, there was a lot of violins and strings and just stuff like that. So a really great score, which attributed to the great vibe and atmosphere to it.
The creepiness.
Yeah, I mean you get the clapping and the noises. It's a lot of slamming doors and creaks, which we both like that style. It's definitely old school, classic style. A lot of people aren't into that. But so yeah, they did a great job doing that. I thought the cast was good. Excuse me. Lily Taylor played Carolyn, the mother of the family, and Ron Livingston, who I'm a fan of. He's from Office Space, Swingers. He played the husband, and then the paranormal investigators, the Warrens, the Mr. Warren. He was actually the father from Insidious,
Yeah.
right? I don't know the actor's name, and the other woman was good too, but I'm not really familiar with her, what she's been in. So the cast was good. You had like a quirky cop, which helped out with the paranormal investigation. So I don't have any problem with any of the cast. The children were all good actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're really good, actually, the children. What else did you like
Could
about
get them
it?
for zombie kids.
Maybe, yeah, they were all really good kid actors. Anything else you think of that you really liked about it?
I liked a lot, but I can't think of
What
anything else.
Possession, I think makeup in
Yeah.
the possession scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? When she becomes possessed, eventually Lily Taylor's character becomes fully possessed. They did some really cool makeup. So yeah, just a lot of great jump scares. Felt great in the theater with the noises around you, the loud noises. That really was, so definitely see this in the theater. Yeah, it's just a really great atmospheric 70s influence horror film. Like he did with Insidious, he did a great job conveying that to the viewer. Let's talk about now some things that we disliked about it.
The CGI.
CGI, there wasn't a lot of CGI, correct? Like, I mean, overall, this film looked really good. There's a scene where one of the young girls is like being pushed around the floor of the room. That looked really good.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's CGI involved with that. But
But it didn't look like
yeah,
it.
it looked really good. We had a problem. Very little. There's two instances where CGI, and these are very small, quick things, but they bother both of us. You guys know I hate it. There's two instances where there's some, you say, throwing up blood, I
Yeah.
guess. One by one of the ghosts, you can call them, entities, and the other by Lily Taylor's character when she's possessed, correct?
Yeah.
And both of these similar things, they both throw out blood, basically, and they made the blood CGI.
Yeah, and it looks all like pink and
Oh,
like
it just
shiny.
looks horrible, cartoonish, and I don't even know why. As a director, if I had met James Wan, and like I said, Wong, I want to put a G on the end of his name. If I met him, like I'm a fan of his work. He did Saw and Dead Silence, and I really like Insidious. So I respect him as a director very much. But I might give him a nice little punch to the gut. Why? Why are you even considering using CGI blood for something so easy of just having the actor spit out some liquid? It's just sad that it's come to this. I mean, when I see real fake blood in a movie now, I get excited just because, they are actually using real liquid. It just boggles my mind why you would even consider doing that. And they're both cool scenes that should have been creepy, but to me that just
they
ruined
didn't have
that
to
scene.
use it.
It was ridiculous, wasn't it? You looked at me right after, right?
Yeah.
You were like, what? Was that really CGI? And it's a very quick scene, right? Like they didn't.
Oh, and there was other parts where.
What about talking about the Ron Livingston's character, the husband, Roger? You turned to me right after this happened. Yeah, it was during the possession, so describe to them.
Yeah,
your
he
problem.
wasn't showing enough emotion because he was kind of just like.
When she was being
Yeah.
possessed. So
his
describe,
wife was
she's
being
sitting in a
possessed.
chair and they got
She's
a
like. All tied up and about
hood
to.
over her
Yeah,
face because
she's
they're
all.
trying to contain her,
She's possessed and.
exercise her.
He's kind of just like sitting back and watching
Staring.
as everyone else is freaking out. So.
And although when they get her back, she's in that little nook or whatever, and she has the youngest daughter, and she's ready to kill her, and he's outside this little nook trying to and he's trying to convince her, but it just came across as like he's way too laid back and mellow and just like. And I like Ron Livingston as an actor. I don't think this is a case where he's unable to portray that, but I thought he was good in the rest of the movie. But yeah, his reaction to his wife being possessed and quite possibly dying, and he's just kind of killing his daughter. Granted, so. He would have still had 4 more daughters after that, but the fact, his reaction was just kind of annoying for both of us. She noticed it right away. Let's get to the number one, our biggest issue. Is there anything else you want to?
About the falling and them not getting that hurt. So there was 2 parts where 2 different ladies.
Yeah, the 2 lead ladies. They both have a major fall.
Yeah, down the stairs, and all they had was a few cuts, but they should have been like unconscious.
I don't think the one had any cut, did she?
Yeah.
I mean, her head bounced off a
brick
board, like.
Yeah, there was like a fireplace, and then she like. bombed into it.
And like barely. I mean, give us some. I mean, especially for someone who bruises easily. She had like a bruise issue going on with it throughout the movie, and she takes the tumble down the stairs, and there's like nothing on her face. But that was a little thing, but we got to take a quick break, and we'll finish this up. There's one final major complaint we have with this film, and then ultimately we tell you whether or not we recommend it to you. We'll be right back. And so after the dog died in the beginning of the movie, how many other people died? Mr. Warren didn't.
Mrs. Warren didn't die.
Roger didn't.
Caroline didn't.
One of the daughters didn't.
The other daughter didn't.
The other 3 daughters didn't.
The priest didn't.
The Warren's daughter didn't.
The Warren's grandmother didn't.
The cop didn't die.
The camera guy didn't die.
No one died in this movie.
Nothing changed.
Like, here's the thing.
Okay, at the beginning of the movie, everybody was alive. At the end of the movie, everybody was still alive.
And we're not saying at all that this should have been a gore fest or this, but here's the thing. When you get to this end, this really great possession scene when she becomes fully possessed, and her Lily Taylor's face changes, really good makeup. They're basically in the basement, and they tie her to this chair, and she's got a bag over her head. She starts like spitting blood onto you couldn't tell really whether it was real blood or not. I assume it wasn't. But it's really cool, and they're all kind of, they're going to perform an exorcism on him, and it was a really intense scene. It looked really cool. She was like flailing people around. Like, it was a really cool scene. This is the chance to, it could have been way much more effective and intense with just, I would be fine with one casualty.
Yeah.
There were so many characters, and if this was a film with maybe you only got like a couple characters, fine. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there was a lot of characters in this film, including 5 daughters.
Yeah.
And none of them are, I mean, it just took away to me the effectiveness really of the whole film, and especially that scene. And I remember looking at you, I said, I think I pumped my fist or something. The scene where Lily Taylor looks, Mrs. Perron, looks at the camera, and she goes, they're up close to her, they're saying, we have to save her before she's gone. Yeah. And she, with the deep, demonic voice, she says, it's too late, she's already gone, and you are all going to die. Yeah. And it was a great line, a great scene. This is where I'm thinking, this is when the S is going to hit the fan, like big time. I don't mean like obviously she wasn't really going to kill anybody. Yeah. This is where I at least thought that Mr. Warren, like someone's going to die here. It would have been great to see her, just maybe Ron Livingston's character, since he was so apathetic anyway, maybe I was thinking, but someone there after such a great line should have been expendable in a really cool way. They could have done it, and just nothing. That was just really frustrating for both of us. We kind of looked at each other like, and then you're thinking maybe, so they get out, she ends up being saved, they get out of the house, and Mr. Warren has to go back to his house, and you're thinking, okay, this is something here, it's going to happen. And they had their own daughter too, who they neglected through a lot of the film. They leave her with her grandmother, and that kind of insinuates that the couple, the Warrens, they spend too much time of their lives dealing with this ghost hunting. They kind of neglect their own daughter, so they hint at that throughout the film. So I'm thinking maybe he's going to get home and the daughter will be dead or something. Yeah. Like, I was waiting for the big end.
Stuff happened before when they were gone.
We gotta say, there's a creepy doll involved in this movie. There's plenty of backstory on the house. There's, basically a woman had killed her kids and made other people do things. So there's no nothing's left up in the air as far as the plot of the film. It's all explained. There's plenty of backstory, but there's some plot issues with that doll and kind of the relevance of it. It's kind of choppy with the plot, but yeah, he gets, after Lily Taylor and the family are all happy and saved, Mr. Warren goes back to his house, and you're just getting the feeling, okay, something here is going to happen, and nothing really happens. Like,
they
the
have
doll,
this whole room of possessed items
that they keep to kind of keep away from people, because they're items that carry the possession with them, and they show this doll, and obviously they left it open for a sequel. Yeah, that's fine, but we just wanted some casualty. Give us one, but the cop got bit. He was funny, quirky cop with a nice stash. He gets bit by her in the neck, and come on, she could have mauled him or something.
He was kind of like those guys in Insidious, the ghost hunters.
The goofy ghost hunters, yeah. He was kind of like that role. And then when we thought about it after, we were like, James Wan didn't kill anyone in Insidious either. So he has something against.
But there's gonna be a second one.
Yeah, and then we're gonna of course see it, but you know what I mean. It just like, you gotta kill somebody. We're not saying that like she really should
Everybody
have
has
killed
to die.
everybody and should have gotten all glory. No, but someone it takes a lot away from the whole movie. There has to be the fear and the threat of someone really dying. If you don't bother doing that and give them the line that you said,
And
that was awesome right after the movie ended.
when there's a happy ending, the whole movie's a waste.
That's from the mouth of a teenager. I mean, are we saying that Conjuring is a waste of film? No.
No.
But come on, this is a horror film, James Wan. This is not, happy endings are for Disney films, correct?
But Disney films never even have happy endings.
So Disney films maybe would have killed someone off, right?
Like The Lion King. Mufasa dies.
So James Wan, your next movie, he's doing Insidious too, right? He did direct that, and I'm sure it looks like The Conjuring with the amount of money they made this weekend. I think it was 41 million this weekend for The Conjuring, which is great to see for an original horror film. James Wan, kill somebody in the next film. The dog doesn't count. The backstory characters don't count. A doll doesn't count. You got to kill somebody. I'm sorry. So it definitely these problems that we've had with film definitely for me knocked it down several pegs. As with you, I've heard some people call this a modern classic, one of the scariest films ever. I can't say that.
It was
I think
scary though.
it was. Yeah, we want ultimately. Excuse me, do we recommend it to you? Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to call it a great film or a modern masterpiece, but it's definitely a very good film. We'll be buying it when it comes out. We'll see the sequel if there is one, no question. We support this. Yeah.
And the next movie we're gonna see.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But yeah, we definitely recommend it. Like I said, I don't love it as much as I've heard some people say, and I really think these faults that we brought up really knock it down several pegs, particularly the fact that the ending was just too happy for us. It really just takes away from a lot of the build-up, you know? If there's no fear of death, what's the horror? Anyway, it is great. See it in the theater.
Five Daughters.
See it in the Horror of the Five Daughters. That's a great horror name. Horror of Five Daughters. See it in the theater because that's definitely take advantage of all the noises.
The sounds.
Again, I respect James Wan. And really, for the last couple of years, this trend of Hollywood, the non-remake stuff of creating original scary films. I think the genre in general gets away from scaring people too often. I mean, I love all the subgenres, but it's great to see Sinister, Insidious, The Conjuring, Dark Skies, which we enjoyed. It's great to see films trying to scare you in an old-fashioned way of just noises and jump scares and all that. So I really respect that. It's definitely more of an homage to old school 60s, 70s, 50s horror. So we really support that. Definitely see The Conjuring. Again, we didn't love it, but it's a very damn good film. There you go.
Don't swear.
Sorry. Earmuffs. So yeah, the next film, it's cool that we've seen these scary films together in the theater too. It's really cool. And then what's the next horror film we'll be going to? We're really excited about this one.
You're next.
You're Next. Directed by Adam Wingard, who's an awesome director. That comes out, I believe it's Friday, August 19th. If you're unaware of this film, go check out the trailer. The trailer was amazing. I guess I'll call it a home invasion slasher film. So I can't wait to see that. It's going to be awesome. So thank you for doing this review with me. Give us some feedback if you'd like to see Little Headbanger with me again. Maybe we'll do one for your next, maybe. Give us some feedback if you like it. For Horror's Ball and the Horror Happy Hour, go check out that great website. I'm the Headbanger.
I'm Lil Headbanger.
We'll see you next time. We are out. Stay scared.